Hey folks, it's B Dizzle. On this episode of Dizzlegate, I want to go over a flyer I found which kind of summarizes some of the federal laws that are being broken by gang stalkers who are preying upon targeted individuals. 18 U.S. Code 241 is conspiracy to deprive constitutional rights, which is obviously what you're doing to targeted individuals. You're trying to deprive them from living a free and prosperous life. You're trying to sabotage their livelihood. You're trying to destroy their family. Also, with your fictitious allegations of having people mentally committed because you're trying to get them disarmed, thereby stripping them of their Second Amendment rights, freedom of speech, you know, there's lots of constitutional violations that are occurring. And it's ironic that a lot of these people seem to be doing this because you're claiming to be doing this to fight against an unjust system, yet you're conducting unconstitutional behaviors yourself. Um, 18 U.S. Code 242, deprivation of constitutional rights under the color of law. The color of law, as I understand it, is, depending upon the circumstance that, maybe they could bend the law a little bit, but there are still constitutional rights that still have to be adhered to even under the color of law. And, this kind of speaks to some of the things whereby, I'd gone and, certain reports should have been filed and, adhered to, but they weren't because of who my husband is and what his position is. There's still, constitutional rights that you have to abide by under the color of law. 18 U.S. Code 249, Hate Crime Prevention Act. I was originally targeted 10 years ago because I was too Spanish. Then all of a sudden, now I'm too white. In general, I feel like I was targeted because, first and foremost, because I'm a woman. Even in the biker community, I suspect that the real reason that I was targeted, not just because I needed to be displaced because I was someone's competition, but it was also to put a message across, in that world, because it's very sexist of, women do not belong in leadership roles. And so they actually triangulated a bunch of women to help knock me down. And sure enough, one of the women that helped to knock me down went back into a secretarial role, and he even called her mariposa, which is, it's actually a dig at her because it's referencing MK Ultra programming, So 18 U.S. Code 875C, interstate communications. You're hacking, state to state. This is even happening to me. I'm being hacked internationally, even from South Africa, the Middle East, from Hispanic countries. So I'm not sure how they're going to deal with the international aspect. I guess that's covered under the Omnibus Bill. 18 U.S. Code 1111 is murder, and Code 1117 is conspiracy to commit murder. And in my case, it is attempted murder because I had attempted suicide. So this is an attempted murder charge for you. 18 U.S. Code 1503, intimidating a witness and victim. That would be applicable in cases where anyone tried to help me, they were intimidated, or they were set up to be in car accidents. They became targeted themselves until they stopped trying to help me. Assaulted. When I tried to pass out flyers to raise awareness about my situation, I was retaliated and then I was thrown into the psych ward. That's intimidation of a witness. 18 U.S. Code 1509, impeding due exercise or rights by attempting to prevent, impede, and interfere with same. You're impeding my ability to exercise my rights. to legal services. I can't get an attorney. I can't get, law enforcement to help me. I can't get the magistrate to issue subpoenas. My rights are being completely and 100% violated. 18 U.S. Code 1510, obstructing a criminal investigation, a conflict of interest roles in government. And I would assume this is applicable to those who have connections to like InfraGard and Fusion Center and FBI and CIA and DOJ and EIEIO. Anybody who is working in the government, even in the Pentagon, and you're abusing your authority. You see this is happening. I know that there are police officers involved. You see this is happening, but you're allowing it to happen. I'm not sure how this is all going to go down. 18 U.S. Code 1512, engaging in misleading conduct. This is you trying to be deceitful, and you're trying to pretend to be a federal agent. You're trying to pretend to be a CIA agent who, is in the military or whatever. You're claiming to be someone, in the government or a police officer, and you're not. 18 U.S. Code 1512 is tampering with a witness or victim. 18 U.S. Code 1513 is retaliation against the witness and victim. And this is applicable to the people who were harassing individuals who did decide to stand up for me. I had a woman who wrote a letter on my behalf, and she was concerned about the outcomes of the acts of attrition being done against me. She was retaliated against. There were two individual males who tried to help me and tried to spell things out for me, or stood up and spoke in my defense and took to social media to speak up for me and try to, clarify things, because there were things being said about me in a private forum, and, I wasn't able to be included. And they were retaliated against. 18 U.S. Code 1905, disclosure of information generally. I know my medical records have been hacked. I know my credit card information has been hacked. My iTunes accounts have been hacked. My emails are hacked. Everything that I own is hacked. My security cameras. I mean, it's a total privacy invasion, as well as your thoughts. Even there, I don't know how they're going to address that. What type of cyber technical laws are going to address that? I don't know. Here's a good one. 18 U.S. Code, 1961, Organized Crime Control Act of 1980. This is the RICO Act. This is racketeering. What you're doing is racketeering. All the money that you're making off of taunting people and harassing people and trying to sabotage people's lives, that's a RICO Act violation. 18 U.S. Code 1983, civil action for deprivation of rights. My Second Amendment rights I lost because of the bogus charges of being mentally unstable. The people who are conducting this are the ones that need to be in the mental institution and are mentally unstable. 18 U.S. Code 2261A, interstate stalking. I was down in South Carolina, and I had, there was a biker group that was stalking me and my children. And I had gone into a local department store. We were shopping, and they followed us back to the back of the store. And they actually stopped right next to my daughter, and I took that as a threat. And then we went to eat at a restaurant, and they were at the restaurant. My kids actually were intimidated. They didn't want to go inside, but, I at the time stayed strapped, and I was like, I'm going in regardless. So I still went in, and they made it a point to kind of come up when I came up to the, to the buffet line. That's interstate stalking. 18 U.S. Code 2265, full faith and credit. 18 U.S. Code 2381 is treason. And in my opinion, every gang stalker is a domestic terrorist, and that is treason. You're waging warfare on American citizens, and you are in America. And if you are not an American citizen, God help you. 18 U.S. Code 2340, conspiracy to commit torture, which is what you're doing. This is torture. You're poisoning my pets. You're poisoning me. You poisoned my children. You've damaged our property. You're constantly harassing me online. This is torment. It's torture. It's enslavement, really. It's an endangerment, and you're also putting me and my children in a dire situation whereby we could be vulnerable and become victims to human trafficking. I am being human trafficked on the dark web. That's human trafficking. That's cyber, but there have been women who were put into this predicament and they got caught up into human trafficking or prostitution because they have been totally taken down. I went to fill out a job application the other day. I have no references. I can't provide any references because everybody I know has been involved in what is going on. And if I give them that contact information, it'll spread to that job. So that's it. You're blacklisted. And you end up going into pretty much like criminal activity to try to make a living. It's terrible what people are doing to other American citizens. These are hate crimes. So conspiracy to commit torture. 18 U.S. Code 2382, misprision of treason. I don't know if that is talking to the false arrest that they try to set you up on fake crimes and false charges, false imprisonment. I don't know if that's addressed. 18 U.S. Code 2384, seditious conspiracy. This is definitely a conspiracy. You're all sitting in a page somewhere and you're talking about what's happening to my life. Oh, he cut the medical insurance off. Oh, let's harass her about the medical insurance. Oh, he cut her cell phone off. Let's harass her about the cell phone. Oh, he cut the cable off. Let's harass her about the cable. This is what you're doing. 18 U.S. Code 2389, recruiting for service against the United States. You're being domestic terrorists in your own nation. And like I said in my other video, I suspect 9/11 was the kickoff. America's been under siege. It's been at war since 9/11. And basically these sex cults and this clique of Hivites and this dark web and targeted individuals, this is all you're recruiting for service against United States citizens and government. You're infiltrating governments. I've literally called certain government offices and I'll have someone who obviously knows who I am. This is a race war also. You know what you're doing. Obama's people. 18 U.S. Code 5328, whistleblower protections. Anytime I try to spread awareness, they've taken my printer offline. I can't even use it now. It's a brand new printer, $400 printer, and I can't use it. They've done this to me a couple of times. Anytime I try to pass out flyers, they'll take my printer offline. 42 U.S. Code 1985, conspiracy to interfere with civil rights. 47 U.S. Code 23A 1C is obscene or harassing telephone calls. There are times where they'll call me and it's this pre-recorded Chinese message or whatever, because I guess they're trying to imply that it's this Chinese weaponized technology that they're using to target to target individuals and harass them and use the remote neural monitoring and voice of God technology on targeted individuals. Excuse me, I'm trying to get over a cold. There are other charges on here that are not on here, which, slander, libel, defamation of character, the cyber laws that you're hacking, you're hacking into people's IP address, and you're hacking into people's companies. There are many other laws that are not listed on here. I don't even know how they're going to try to address the whole spiritual warfare aspect. I don't even know what kind of court system you're going to go to for that. But that's just a quick list of some of the charges you could potentially be facing as a gang stalker who's out here trying to harass and target American citizens. So if there are any other laws that you can think that they're breaking that aren't mentioned, please feel free to drop a comment below. And thanks for watching. Good luck.